Clerk report, the mics are live because Tim Bowman is not going to be with us tonight. Can you take us into the pledge and roll call?
Yes, sir. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. Laporte here. Patterson.
Here.
Frazier.
Here.
Oddie.
Here.
Rush.
Here.
Honey.
Here.
And Bowman. Excused. We have a quorum. If the board would like to make a motion on somebody to chair the meeting.
I'll make a motion that trustee Rush chair the meeting.
I'll support it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have a chair. Musical chairs.
You sit there again.
Doing great.
Nobody can see you over here, man. This is the best seat now.
Let's go through the agenda.
Right.
We're gonna take like 5 minutes, let everybody get that big.
Yep.
Here's your phone.
Oh, thank you. Okay, item 3, approve agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Nobody even said Siri on that one. Seriously?
No, everybody's phone's gonna
It's
respond.
on silent mode, too.
So just, can somebody throw this in the trash first?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We have an agenda. We're going to do something a little bit different tonight before we get into things. We're going to move to item A on the agenda to get this, this little ceremony out of the way, so everybody, they don't have to stick around for the whole meeting if they've got other things to do. A, consider approval to promote firefighter Michael how do you pronounce that? Winooski Jr. to the rank of lieutenant, effective immediately, effective 10/29/25, pay rate increase from $22.52 to $23.84. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, so let's,
Yeah, let's get on with the ceremony, yeah.
Yes, congratulations.
This is the first I've not seen Chief this dressed up.
I know.
Is that Chief Brown?
I know, I didn't recognize him either.
Stand up for this.
He's gonna take the oath. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of the state,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Sumpter Township Lieutenant Firefighter
in the office of the Sumpter Township Lieutenant Firefighter
in and for the Township of Sumpter,
and for the Township of Sumpter,
County of Wayne,
County of Wayne,
State of Michigan,
State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right.
Right there with the stickers, yeah.
Now it's official.
Congratulations.
Chief's got his badge.
You were the lieutenant
But it's on silent. I know. We do have paramedics in the room, so. All right. Good job.
If we could get a quick picture with the board, if you don't mind, Mike?
Come down, go up. I'll just stand up here.
Going down.
So everyone, Mike's been on the department about 4 years, but he's been running around the department when he was a wee lad with his dad. He's also a full-time firefighter for Ypsilanti Township. We're proud to have him in Sumpter. And there's cupcakes in the back of the room if anybody would like some to
Before
celebrate.
we proceed on. Hey, John. They're gonna take 5 minutes to eat cookies. I'll just get a picture. This photo bomb. Photo bomb. Oh, I was hiding behind you.
We're gonna take a few minutes to have a cupcake if you want, and then we'll continue the meeting.
A few minutes, that's it?
Any cupcakes you plan?
Yes. I can put away 4 or 5.
Did you notice 6 of them were gone when we came?
Right. You got taste test.
I did.
You have to.
We'll take these couple minutes to go around and say that.
Oh.
Thank you. It's going down. I'll do a roll call vote.
So it's Matt said with us.
I'll do a roll call vote just to make sure.
Good.
Yeah, I swear. So he's down there, and I reached over and I said, "Congratulations." He took my hand, and when he shook it down, my arm hit that.
Yeah, so that logo's not that hard to embroider.
It's what?
That logo's not that hard to embroider.
No.
If you look at like our Great Lakes logo, you go to a company like Aberty in Lincoln Park.
Yeah, you know what? Reality,
I like it.
that's
I
a
don't
nice logo.
You know
and
what?
I tell you what, when we did that logo, a lot of work went into that too.
Well, and here's the other thing, okay? My issue with this, you look at like Van Buren Township. Yeah, their logo's simplified, but they stuck to their colors. We didn't even stick to our colors here.
All we had to do is change the color.
Let's just leave the logo alone and call it a day.
I'm not for me, thank you.
Can't do it. We were just, let me scan it. Let me scan it with my app.
You're gonna eat two of them.
It says terrible. No, I'm good.
Good too. I'm good.
Gotta
I
take
need
that train.
Anita will take one.
Ron will eat
It's gonna
it.
take everyone
Tim
up
needs
home
one.
left if there's any.
Tim needs to eat 2 or 3 of those things.
Those things are good. I made them today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Any special?
Sam's Club. All the ingredients right in Sam's. Give her this book back so I don't lose it or anything.
Yes, I got it right here. Unless you want to read it. You want to?
Don't matter to me.
For the proclamation.
I don't like my voice.
Why? Your voice is good.
Art, I think you should read a proclamation.
Every time I hear my voice, I'm like, I hate hearing my voice. I have a terrible voice. I don't like it.
Yes or no, you want to or not?
If you don't want to, I'm old and like that.
It doesn't matter, but you know, it's participation. How many of you read?
And I'll send out an email, probably that Friday before.
You're the chair.
Think that's all enough?
Yeah.
Just give him a gavel or two and call back.
Yep.
Yeah, everything.
Okay, everybody, we're going to continue now. Number 4, we have a presentation, the Martinsville Cemetery update by Karen Armatus and Scott Holtz.
Good evening.
Excuse me 1 second, Scott. Can we get that row of lights right there to get that a little
Or
bit?
the other one. There we go.
There, perfect. Thank you.
Traditionally, we've always given this in the fall around Veterans Day, so this will be our 3rd year of kind of updating on where we have come with the cemetery. Just as an update, over these past 3 years, we've installed a new fence with a new overhead sign. We've removed a lot of trees. There's new signage with the rules on it. We rewrote the ordinance and updated the fee schedule. We added gravel down the center part of the road. But more specifically, we have identified 100 different names to specific plots out there, completing cemetery records that were destroyed in the 1980s. We have identified 25 more veterans, and Karen just gave me a list of all the updated information for both of our books. That includes death dates, birth years. We've done a lot of research out there. And then our one kind of sad moment is we've had a burial out there in December of 23. To date, we have repaired 16 headstones. We've reset 28 headstones. We've cleaned 23 headstones. We've discovered 17 headstones. We've added 2 new veteran headstones with the dedication ceremony in May, and we have reset 13 veteran Civil War headstones to the correct height above ground. Those are the marbles out there. They are all now at the right 24 inches above. And then again, we've trimmed more trees.
There's a little slideshow for you. This is Ada Bell. This is before, this is after.
Wow. Jeez.
This is a repair and a reset. He was in 3 pieces, Mr. Allen. This is afterwards.
Wow.
This is one of our veterans, Mr. Babcock. He's leaning a little bit and he's too deep. You can tell by the dark part how much we raised him up. Mr. Martin, before, after. He was reset, and when you have a tall stone like that, you have to use braces, obviously, you can tell. And he's since been cleaned. This is Elmira Blakely. She's a heavy girl. She was in 3 pieces. She was about 3 inches thick. This is a repair job, and this is after, and that's her cleaning. We're gonna do another cleaning on her.
I couldn't help but think if she was only 110 pounds in real life, and we were probably gonna
We talked to them out there. They're not offended by what
Right.
we do. Mr. Farr, raised up. It is only a couple inches. This is Frank Elwell. This is a stone we discovered. Young man that we braced, and that's him after.
Very nice.
Frank Spence, this is our Spanish-American veteran. He was deep. We raised him 13 inches. Mr. Spence. Yes, this is George. He was straightened and raised. His was just a few inches. Stephen Guest, raised up. This is Jerome Ridlin. He's a 12-year-old. We just unburied his stone. He was supposed to be upright. And you can now read his stone. This is Joseph Sherman, straightened and raised. This is John Ridlin. He was in 3 pieces. He's a veteran, but he didn't have a veteran stone. He's repaired and cleaned. Oh, cleaned. James Johnson, he's a leaner. Now he's straightened up. Lily Mae Wilson, we discovered her. She was a 1-year-old, and you can see her base there by the weeds. And there, she's in her base now where she belongs. Charles Martin, raised up. I think he was about 11 inches, wasn't he? Yeah. Reuben Merrill, you were all there for that dedication ceremony, our new stone. This is a stone that was just cleaned, and this is before, and that's after. This is Diamond and Jane Pearl. Now, if you remember, you came out for their ceremony too, and we were able to obtain a marker for them due to the shape of their stone. This is a slow process because there's happens to be a piece missing in there. So you can see the piece on the back side there. So we're going to fill that in with marble. That's the back without all the braces. That's the front. And that's the marker you guys were all there for. This is Albert Roberts. He just needed to be put back in his spot. There's the fix. There's the before, or after the fix, but before the cleaning. Oh, what happened to his after cleaning? This is Roby Harold. Interesting story on this guy. He was leaning up against the old fence. We had no idea where his stone belonged. And so after about, I don't know, a couple months, we finally found his home. So we attached him. That's his backside. And then we're in the process of cleaning. And the dark spots on there is tree sap, elements, and we have some cleaner we're going to try on him. It's going to have to wait till spring now. Another veteran, Stephen Sherman, raised up a couple inches. John Secord, veteran, raised up about 6 inches. Thomas Sherman, musician, he's raised up 5 inches. Sylvester Vandercook, he was buried in tons of yucca plants, really bad shape. We dug all the yucca plants out of there. There you can see. He was raised 13 inches. That's how much he sunk. This is Joel Williams. Raised him up 6 inches. And then Jesse Galloway. Somebody repaired him initially there. You can see it's not a really good job. We've since fixed that and remounted him to his base. And the last thing we did last weekend when it was 82 degrees in October, we were trimming trees. And so we have 5 huge piles of trees out there. And that's the end of our slideshow. Scott wants to finish up.
Great work, guys.
Absolutely.
Can I ask, what are you using to clean the stones?
It's actually a cleaner called D2. We learned about it at the municipal cemetery, what I officially call the cemetery camp. It's actually approved. They use it at Arlington on all their marble stones there to clean them for lichens, mosses, to keep them that way.
I was curious because when my grandparents are at, we bought that wet and forget for
headstones, and it works too, but I didn't know that looks like it works better, so.
Yeah, D2, it's starting to become hard to find, but we have found that we like D2. The other product is called Endurance through Atlas, but we really like the D2. I mean, it's one of those that you let time really work with it. But yeah.
Yep. Scott and Karen, who did the actual repairs to the broken stones?
We did.
You did?
Yeah.
Holy smoke.
If the board remembers, we went to a training, we went on our own dime for this. We went to Kalamazoo. The Atlas training guy at the time was going around the country, training individuals on how to repair stones, reset stones, and even raising them up safely. And so we went to that training, and we brought that back to restore our cemetery.
Wow.
Fantastic.
I may add too.
Great job again.
Yeah, we went out, I think I called you, Karen, went out, stopped by there with my grandson and just took him, like, who takes their grandkid on a tour of a cemetery, but that was me. We went, he was 8 years old, he just was looking at almost every stone, and I sent a couple of pictures, and then he started getting concerned about, like, why is there the same name over here as over here? They should be with their family, why aren't they there? And all these questions, so it was a good experience, and we really appreciate what you guys are doing.
Can I,
Sure, go
Actually,
ahead, Tom.
both Karen and I have been really blessed and honored to stay on with this project. I mean, and we are looking towards the future too of what we want to help you guys accomplish and your goals out there. Taking care of this, it's a sacred ground, and it is actually part of the township's responsibility for this. What's really nice about the township is you only have one. I mean, I come from a township that has 6, and that is a big expense, and it doesn't receive the care that this is receiving.
You know, I think overall, Scott, it reflects on the morality of the community to upkeep it the way and the time, your guys' time and effort and monies we've put into it. You know, that's the morality of the community.
Right, well, it's our history too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Our cemetery can be that place of actual history of going out there. I mean, it's not just street names. I mean, these are actual people that ran this township in the earliest days. And we need to keep that space sacred.
Yeah. Dan, did you have something?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for doing it. I don't know if maybe residents don't know, people watching this at home on Channel 12, if it's still 12, I don't even know. But I think it's important everybody to understand, you guys aren't even township residents. I mean, you guys are coming from other communities to take care of this. And it says a lot about your personal, how you guys are. And yeah, you've both worked here at one time, but I commend you greatly for sticking through, doing the repairs. It is meaningful. I'm one of those guys that likes to walk through old cemeteries, but don't do it a very lot. But it's comforting to know that there's still people out there that want to look for the history and take care of the future. Thank you.
And that's one of the things we want to reach out to the residents too, that if you have history out there, please share it with us. Because I mean, we're building essentially family trees. And I mean, it can be one heck of a book about that place. But any stories, any information, I mean, we're willing to accept it. So just get in touch with the clerk's office and she can get in touch with us.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Can somebody get the lights for us again? Thank you. Okay, number 5, proclamation. Veterans Day proclamation. Mr. Patterson, would you like to do the honor of reading that for us?
I will do that. I will stand up. You don't all have to stand up, but, so this is Sumpter Township Veterans Day proclamation. And so what a proclamation is that it's a public or official announcement of either maybe a legal order, a ceremonial dedication, or a call to public attention. So this is pertaining to our Veterans Day proclamation. So as the proclamation reads, it says, whereas Sumpter Township is pleased and honored to pay tribute to the dedicated veterans who have served this great nation with such distinction, both in peacetime and in war. And whereas our community has a continuing sense of gratitude to those who have given so much in the defense of the freedoms which we all continue to enjoy. And whereas Americans have an abiding faith in the ideals and strengths on which our great nation was founded, in our democratic process, and in the men and women of the armed forces who have served our country so well. And whereas in honor of those dedicated men and women, we pledge our ongoing respect to that their sacrifice will stand before the entire world as a tribute to the spirit and determination of a people dedicated to the principles of freedom and democracy. And whereas, let us all commit ourselves to the great need of fostering a spirit of dedication to the ideals that have served as the foundation of this great country. Now therefore, I, Bart Patterson, Sumpter Township Treasurer, do hereby invite all veterans and their admirers to attend the Veterans Day ceremony that will begin at 5 p.m. Tuesday, November 11th at the Belleville High School, 501 West Columbia Avenue in Belleville. The theme this year's ceremony is going to be, What is a Veteran? This is proclaimed this day, the 28th day of October, 2025. Thank you much.
Thank you, Treasurer Patterson. Okay, now, in your board pack, we do have a conflict of interest policy that is on here to discuss, and I'll open it up to the board for anybody that has any suggestions, or
I'll start, if you don't mind.
go right ahead, Don.
So I created the rough draft of this policy. There's two of them in your board packet. One's conflict of interest, and the other is an invoicing policy. So when we went up to the clerk's retreat, which was far from a retreat, there's several policies I mentioned at the last board meeting that I'd be bringing forward that we need to start instituting, or we need to revise or update. So I started with these two, the first being the conflict of interest. I am not a policy writer, so this is why it's up for discussion. So maybe between 7 of us, 8 including the attorney, we could come up with something that we could all agree on. I just got the ball rolling, and so everybody can give their input on it. Same with the invoicing policy. We pay people large sums of money, and when we pay that money out, I think that we should be expecting back a formal invoice that we can, I don't know what the best word is for it, but it should be very, very detailed on what we're paying for, what we're spending residents' money on. And nothing should be left off. So there's been a little issue here and there. I've held up some invoices from being paid because I felt that they didn't have enough detail on them. And, you know, that's usually not a real popular decision. People want their money, but I'm steadfast on it, and always will until we have enough detail to where we feel like that we are paying exactly for what we asked for. I think that we should never be short of that. So,
Chair, if I could contribute.
Go ahead, Matt, yeah.
Contribute on Don's comments. Yeah, this is a good start. We've always had, you know, a general conflict of interest when we put out bids. Some of them were just regarding family, but it should be any type of conflict of interest. And this one here really targets board members, which it should, but we also need to make sure that we have a conflict of interest policy that includes the employees that may be part of, you know, maybe they have a family member that's submitting a bid, just so those things are out there. And it would be part of the bid process, and Clerk Laporte, I agree, the invoicing needs to be clear, but I think what we have to do is when we put out a bid, it's in that bid. This is when we're gonna be asking somebody to bid, we should tell them in that bid, if you're the successful bidder, this is what your invoices are expected to include, so that when they bid, they know what to do. So we're not having to look at them as they come in and make changes. We can always make changes, but they should have the guide. We should tell them, we expect this amount of level of detail on the invoice so that we can pay it properly at the time that it's bid and at the time we select the contractor, you know, and we gotta play catch up now a little bit, because we have some contracts in place and things that don't really have that, but we really need to develop it, make it part of that contract, make it part of that service, you know, that this is what is expected for that invoice to contain, for it to be properly paid, so that we can not only get it to the right GL, we can get it, you know, the right detail into the general ledger, so that it can be properly distributed to the right departments. It might be a water and a sewer project that, you know, has to be split, so you have to be able to see what was water, what was sewer. So I agree with that, and I really think we have to play catch-up, get the ones we have in place, but going forward, when we put out bids, it should be specific. Here's an example of what we expect on your invoice when you bill us for this. Boom, boom, boom.
And we've just done that with BidNet recently. We just received a bid back using BidNet, and we will get that going out further, you know, future. What's important about these invoices and why I'm so critical on them is that we just made a very large purchase of heavy equipment to do work for DPW, and we need to allocate the hours that we use that equipment and what discipline we're using it for, so we can put money in those general ledger accounts. So when the equipment wears out 15 years from now, we're not looking to spend $240,000 out of general fund money. We'll have a nest egg that we've been putting money in for 15 years that we can replace that equipment with.
Yep.
It's planning for the future right now. And if we don't start now doing this, I mean, because this is all new to this community, buying equipment like this and starting to do work on the scale that we're looking at doing with water taps and such. So I think we have to be responsible and how we're getting work done, who's doing it, and how we're putting the money in which bucket for the future.
Okay, so for right now, Don, would it be acceptable? Obviously, we're not gonna vote on anything tonight. This is just kind of a basic draft to get us going. I would think that any board member that has any input into the invoicing or the conflict of interest policy, can they just get with you?
Yeah, they could forward the email to me or Deputy Herman, and
Okay.
we'll keep all those ideas in collectively one folder. We can blend all those to one document and bring that back, and we could discuss it again. I mean, this is what we're,
Yeah,
this
get it
is,
nailed down.
this is why we're elected.
Bart, go ahead.
So, yeah, a couple things on this. I agree on that, first on the conflict of interest policy. I agree with trustee Yadi, is that, why was this just pertaining to board members? But then there's things about, like, this is perceived, if conflicts may be real, perceived, or potential. But then also have, like, well, what if a board member doesn't sign this? Talks about annually signing this and filling out what this is, and talks about, like, board members directly related to employees. And if we don't do this, then conflict of interest may be unavoidable and should not prevent an individual from serving as a board member. But then it also talks about, like, later on, that the chair, if they see a conflict of interest, the chair can ask the individual to leave the room to have the board to discuss the matter. There's a lot of things in there. I'm like, how would that look? How would this look? I mean, totally agree. Should be a conflict of interest policy, but something we'll have to look at, beat up a little bit. And then the township invoicing policy, the main thing that I saw on this, not to get too much into the weeds on it, but it seems like the policy that's at least initially laid out seems to be like mixing, interchanging AP and receivables, billing and invoicing type of thing, and the terminology and the difference. Like, is this talking about us invoicing people or them invoicing us, and what does this mean in this section and all that type of thing? So we'll just have to work those things out, but I appreciate Clerk Report working on this and getting the ball rolling on
Yeah,
it.
thanks a lot, Don. Anybody else? Okay. Public comment. Mr. Leroy Page, you have the microphone at the podium.
I won't repeat what the proclamation said about the date and time, but I would like to know, I would like to say to the board that all veterans that served in our military branches during World War II, Korea, Southeast Asia, Middle East, Afghanistan, and the War on Terror are encouraged to attend this ceremony, that we might honor their service and sacrifice by showing our appreciation and our deepest gratitude to them. I want to ask you, as members of the board who serve this community, to encourage any and all veterans you know, whether they live in this township or you know them from the outside somewhere, to attend this ceremony. And anytime, anywhere they served, there's no reservation about them not coming. We really like to encourage them to be there. And all the non-military residents, we also encourage you to come out. Because as Karen and Scott said, the history of what is in our cemeteries, the history is out there with our veterans. Those that you know, those that you think you know, it's imperative that they know that we hold them up in the highest regard. So if you're able to attend that night, I'm in the process of getting, it's been held up about getting flyers to be able to bring to the township so they can be put on the social media and hung up on the bulletin boards here. That will, I hope to have that within a couple of days. I will bring that down and have that displayed and distributed. So I want to thank you as board members for serving the township. And I also like to we hope to see you there. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, minutes. A, approve the regular board meeting minutes of October 14th, 2025.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Nine, approve warrants. We'll do this with a roll call vote. The warrants right now stand at $250,785.85.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, Honey,
Yes.
Rush, yes. Addy,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
Bowman is excused. Motion carried. Parks and Rec report. Well, we had our final two events of the year for Parks and Rec. The October Jam last Friday night and then the Trunk or Treat. Both went just excellent. Everybody that attended had a great time. The groundwork is laid for next year. The new Parks and Rec that rose from the ashes of nothing, basically. They've got a lot of experience that from this past year to work with. And with that, I think we need to give it up for a big thank you for all the volunteers at Park and Rec, our DPW. They've helped us tremendously. And at the Trunk and Treat, we had a real treat there. Wayne County Sheriff, mounted on horses, came out. 3 horses, basically stole the show for the night. It was really incredible. And I don't think anybody that was at the Trunk or Treat, we completely ran out of candy and everything. There were so many kids. With that, that'll do my report.
Make a motion to accept the Parks and Recreation report.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Chair, before we move on, I think we forgot to clap our hands and get in a celebration
Oh,
of our Parks and Rec. We have a couple members that are here, some of the other ones are the volunteers that are out there. Yes.
Thank you.
It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
I didn't want to get into too much detail, because if I did it by person, I'd still be talking. Finance report.
Good evening. My finance report for this month is in your board packet. I touch on some clarifications or updates with UKG. Our annual disclosure that I talked about last month is in your packet, so you can see what that looks like and what goes into that document. A little bit of information about a Headley override, since we talked about the Headley rollback with our tax levy that was last month. Our project to get ACH payments going for our vendors, that's up and running, complete, so it was not an easy process for me, but yeah, after some struggles, some obstacles, we're good, and it's working very well. The royalty analysis is attached. You can look at that. And then I have the second quarter budget amendment that I don't know that it's in your board packet, but you received an email prior to the board meeting that contained all that information. And I don't want to go into detail because you can read, but I do want to just touch on a couple highlights in a few different funds. Some changes that you might notice in the general fund revenue. The state revenue sharing has been added that was not in the original budget, so that's a big increase in revenue. And a transfer in from the drains fund to pay for that, the North Branch Big Swan Creek drain assessment. We paid that in full, so that was around $500,000. And essentially that's going to be a pass-through because we're taking that money from the drain fund, which holds the money that can only be used for that, the purpose of drains, putting that into revenue, and then you'll see in expenditures we pay that same dollar amount out. So it's a net zero, but it does inflate our revenues and expenditures in the general fund. Some expenditures that you'll notice changing in the general fund are the trustees' pay increase, the BS&A conversion, which is our enterprise software system. We're converting from our .NET desktop client to the cloud. So essentially, it's an upgrade, and we're going to be doing that in May, but the payment for it you'll see in this year's budget. I also added the 25% of the capital equipment purchases, the mini excavator, the skid steer, and the trailers to go with both of those pieces of equipment. And then the payment for the assessment, the drain assessment that I talked about earlier. That is leaving us with a projected fund balance in the general fund of around $9.5 million, of which $3.5 million is unrestricted. So that unrestricted portion would be about a 79% fund balance, which is very healthy. In the fire fund, you'll notice the revenue change for the sale of the fire truck, and you'll notice expenditure changes for the board approving the hiring of 2 paid on-call firefighters. That leaves a projected fund balance at the end of the year of around $340,000, which is about 27% of the fire fund. The police fund, no significant changes to note in the revenue there. In the expenditures in the police fund, we added new security and alarm system, an increase in insurance premiums, and half of the board-approved police radio replacement, which we were going to fund over 2 years, half of it in this year. That leaves a projected fund balance of around $755,000, or around 21% fund balance. And lastly, in the water and sewer fund, no significant changes to revenue, but in expenditures, you'll notice that we budgeted for hiring the engineering firm to assist us with our capital improvement plan, and budgeted for 75% of the capital equipment expenditures, which were the mini excavator, the skid steer, and the trailers. That leaves a projected fund balance at the end of the year of about $2.86 million, or 82% of the fund balance, or 82% in the fund balance. Does anyone have any questions?
Sure. I have a question.
Don, go ahead.
Okay, I will. Jim?
We're cleanup here.
Yeah, working on cleanup.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's why I called it
Julie,
Jim.
can you take a look at that revenue again for me? I had sent an email to Ken, but he was off yesterday and today, so he probably didn't give it. My budget that we received after we approved it has the revenue in it, showing the state revenue of $1,074,000, in the 2025-2026 budget. So if you could double check that, because what popped in my mind, if it wasn't there, we would have a huge deficit in our budget of almost $1 million, because we run pretty much flush every year. So if we were missing $1 million, we would probably had a huge deficit. So I don't know, maybe it didn't get into BSNA when they typed in the budget,
That's-
numbers.
That's, or maybe it got into BSNA and not into the Excel spreadsheet that
Yeah, I
these
mean,
are
because
on.
this was what was passed out. I went and had to dig it out after we did the approval, and it does show it in there. So I just want to make sure that we're not, double
Okay.
adding on that.
We're not double adding on that, I can guarantee that. And
Yeah,
what
just double
what I
check it,
did
yeah.
to present to you is each fund that I wanted the board to consider for approval, I did a cover summary sheet, and then put all the line item detail behind it. But you can see on the general fund cover sheet, the summary, the revenue sharing is only in there one time.
Okay, yeah, if we could just check, because I know what we approved, it was there because we have the copy that shows it's
Okay.
in there, so I don't want to approve it again. I mean, we could
Well,
reaffirm it, but,
You're not approving each individual change, you would be approving the budget as a whole overall.
Understood.
But yes, I will definitely,
Yeah,
look-
just double check that, make sure
yeah,
of that.
absolutely.
Okay. So that was, when I looked at it, I was like, that's a huge miss on the budget, to miss $1 million in revenue. I think it shows that it's there, so I think it's there. I think maybe if they typed it in the BSNA, maybe somebody missed that line item, and that's why maybe it doesn't show, but
Possibly.
I'd appreciate it. Okay,
Thank you.
yeah.
Anybody else?
I make a motion to accept the finance report.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Water and sewer report, Mr. Tabor.
Good afternoon, Board. Good afternoon, Sumpter residents. The water report for October 2025. The revenue cash inflow consisted of cycles 2, 4, and 9 being billed for a total of $292,782.40 in September. Monies collected in September totaled $340,819.01, which included $239 for a grinder fee repair. Our aged accounts, August delinquency totals were $79,319.68. September delinquency totals were $78,501.56. So our accounts receivable decreased in September by $818.12. I'd like to remind the residents that shutoffs begin on the 25th of each month for the accounts that have past due balances higher than $200 after penalties have been calculated. Okay. A little something I'd like to say thank you to the board and thank you to the residents of Sumpter for the new equipment. I'm totally excited. My team's really excited about using it and putting it to use for the community. It's going to really make us an efficient group here now. I'm fired up. Thank you very much again. Okay. We do have it. It's all tucked away in my barn. We haven't had a chance. We've got a lot of cement work to do right now, so we haven't had a chance to use it. So it's just sitting over there sleeping. I can't wait to get it out. We have training coming up next week. We talked to the salesman about some training, safety training, and how to use the equipment properly. We will be doing some trench safety awareness training also. We'll line that up so that everybody understands the dangers of trench safety, or the dangers of the trench, basically. The repairs on the fairground and the restrooms and the pavilion are pretty much done. We got a little bit of, at the base of the building, tightening up so the water can't get in there. But it looked really good. My employees did a heck of a job. I appreciate, we really pushed them, and they got it completed. We got a couple sidewalk replacement projects going. We completed one today. We got to do some restoration around here on the handicap area out front. But we got some work at the fire hall we've been working on today also. We'll wrap that up this week, get it in time for the election. Water, we started winterizing the fire hydrants throughout the township. Sewer, our contractor Diversified is finishing up on Willis Road gravity sewer line repairs. We had our failing pipe seals repaired and remortared, and 11 sewer well structures sprayed with a protective polyfoam liner, which will strengthen and protect the integrity of the sewer wells that were being damaged by the hydrogen sulfide gases which were present in our system. Our Martinville pump station is still in the bid process, but it's pretty much, we're almost there with that to start that project also. So do you have any questions on any of this?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead, Dennis.
Yes.
So moving forward from tonight, any training that's performed with the employees on the equipment, I'd like it documented.
Yes.
And turned into the clerk's office.
Okay.
As well as all the credentials from anybody that's doing the instructing, turned into the clerk's office.
Yeah, by law, I have to keep that in my file cabinet, but I will get it to the clerk's office also. Yeah, we have to have, we have OSHA training we have to do that, I don't know if I'm sure you were doing it before, but now with the equipment, we're gonna have to do trench awareness safety every 3 years and we will do that.
Yeah, this is one of my biggest concerns
Required by
buying this
law.
equipment, is that we learn how to operate it properly.
Yep.
And everyone gets to go home every night after work without
Yes, sir.
getting hurt. So,
Yeah, there will-
not just this training, any training that they do whatsoever moving forward. I
Absolutely.
want it documented, and we want to retain it somewhere.
Okay. There will be jobs that will be still too big for us. We can attempt, Sumpter's a really damp community. We have that, the sand, what is it called, the river sand? I'm not even sure what it's called. I'm from a clay background, but it's really tough to combat. And some of these holes are they fill in so fast that there are stuff that we'll still be using contractors for that are too deep for our equipment. But we will be putting it to use, and anything we can touch, put our hands on safely and get my employees home every night and get the taxpayers their money's worth, we'll get it done.
Yep. And Ron, I just have to say, what you guys and your team did over at the restrooms at the fairground, I've never seen that building look better. I mean, it's just labeled nicely. I mean, the sidewalks, just everything. You guys did a top-notch job on that.
Lit
Thank
up
you.
nicely, it was lit up really nice.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful building and need a lot of work, to keep it. The moisture was getting in the block and popping all the paint, and the ceilings were coming down. They re-drywalled the ceilings and got it all back up there, and we're gonna seal it up good, and we're gonna winterize it and make sure that it's ready to roll come spring when we're ready to use again. That's pretty much. I'd like to take this time too to thank the residents that did the lead and copper testing for me. Every year we have to test 20 homes, through the state, through Eagle. And a lot of the residents, if you ever need your water tested or something like that, you can get on our list, and we'd be thrilled to have you guys allow us to. We give you a bottle, and you take a sample in the morning, and you set it on your porch or call us, and we'll come get it. We had 20 residents do it for us, and we really appreciate their time. It takes a lot off me. It's stressful getting into the homes to get tested. So thank you for your cooperation.
I'll make a motion to accept the water and sewer report.
Support that.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, number 13, Township Managers Report. I'll make a motion to receive and file as Ken is not with us tonight.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Treasurer's Report. Mr. Patterson.
Just briefly, Board, so the only major change that we've had in there was obviously you saw in the tax fund, it went from $3.9 million down to $522,000. We had a disbursement to Wayne County for taxes that were collected of almost $3.4 million. We do that in October and in March, a couple times a year, so it's the only change, but that is it for my report, is the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Board response. Anybody have any comments they'd like to share?
I do, Chair.
Go ahead, Matt.
Thank you, Tim. I just want, each of the board members has a two-page pack to draft for volunteer applications. This was kind of something Ken was working on before our last board meeting where we, requested that we add criminal background checks to some of our appointments, but it was really to kind of generate a list of people who are in the community that may want to be interested in being on a committee and things, and this is a way to have them be able to submit that, so we have a file that we can refer to look at, applications and see for people for particular committees. So if you have any, since Ken's not here tonight to talk about it, make sure you give any comments that you have on that application to him, so that he can then bring it back for the board to approve, and we can have that going forward, so that we've got a nice database of, people in the community that may want to be on a planning commission or ZBA or Parks and Rec or different committees that we have, cemetery committee,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yes, Chair. I'd like to thank one more time Trustee Frazier for all he did for the Friday night October Jam. He put out some big money to have a band, and it was fantastic. It was a great turnout, and we really appreciate that, Jim. Big time.
Yeah, thank you, Jim.
Back to you, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. New business. Item A, we've already done. Item B, consider approval of the new Sumpter Township logo.
So moved.
I'll support it, and we're gonna do a roll call vote on this. Honey,
No.
Rush, no. Adi,
Yes.
Frazier,
No.
Patterson,
Yes.
Laporte.
No.
Okay, what do we have here?
An even number.
Yeah,
Motion fails.
yeah, it does. If on an even number, it fails. Wait a minute. Honey was no, Rush was no, Frazier was no. and
It
Laporte
fails no
was-
matter what. Yeah, it fails no matter what. the
Well, there's
motion
three
fails.
or four, too, so.
Yeah, it fails either way, so motion failed. C, consider approval of the memorandum of understanding with ASCME regarding work week and hours for the second ordinance officer position.
So moved.
Support?
Chair, now that we have.
Discussion.
Discussion, yes.
Yeah, this was, we talked about this at the last meeting, that we were looking at something, and I, said then, I hate restricting ourselves. We have two ordinance officers, and we're restricting ourselves on what shifts they can work by having a second one that's working Wednesday through Sunday, but the first officer couldn't fill that shift without us paying extra. I just feel that we should be able to have our ordinance officers work when we need them, like we do with the police officers. Police officers, they work whatever shift they're assigned. I just hate to have a restriction on that, and that's the way this feels to me, like we're restricted. If he can only work Wednesday through Sunday, if he works Tuesday, I'm assuming he'll get triple time pay like the other ordinance officer would get if he had to work the Sunday, because it's his weekend.
Well, I mean, I think the plan was, it's a little bit different. The police department is considered normal. This is an AFSCME agreement, you know what I mean? So we always have restrictions on, a lot of this has been negotiated about working on the weekends, particularly on Sunday. And we've heard complaints from the chair about what, there's some understanding of what's going on the weekends that maybe an ordinance officer that's working would be able to handle. The only way that we thought we could put it together is to actually pick those dates, which included the weekend. I don't think there's anything magical about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday versus Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but trying to cover that weekend was something that we struggled with. And if we used weekend coverage with the current AFSCME agreement, then yes, there would have been overtime, double time, all that kind of stuff for working Sundays. And so when Chief Luke went to the union and had the discussion and said, hey, we want to go to a second ordinance officer, but we want to try to cover 7 days. I mean, this is where the union landed. And I hear what you're saying, and I'm not somebody that can figure out how all this works if there's a problem. Maybe you can ask the chief.
But at least I wanted you to get the understanding, the background as to, from a contractual standpoint, as to why we had to do it this way. And again, it's not Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it can be any days. It can be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you know, we needed to cover that weekend.
Yeah, and I understand that we wanted to have the weekend coverage. It just, to me, it just seems like we should be able to set, whether we have to go back and negotiate that with ASME, I don't know how it got to be that point to begin with, but to me, the chief should be able to set what shifts he needs to have those ordinance officers work. You know, for me, and that's why I didn't like this from the beginning, and I know we're trying to make it work for that weekend coverage, but it seems like we should be able to make it work with ASME to say, look, you know, we're gonna have a schedule, and, you know, if we need to have this guy cover a different schedule, maybe it's gonna notice a week ahead of time, because somebody's gonna be on vacation. It just seems odd that we wouldn't be able to control what shifts, or have a different shift, if we wanted both of them working Wednesday through Sunday. I just don't know.
Well, just remember, all of our ASME employees have designated days.
Yeah.
You know, that's been the problem, but I don't know, what do you have?
I thought my instruction from the board a couple of meetings ago was to ensure that I entered into a letter of understanding with the union that we drew one up that allowed that Sunday coverage, no matter what the shift was, that just the second position was able to work that Sunday or the weekend. So that was my focus. It was never to reopen the contract and renegotiate the hours and days of ordinance itself, because that would take a lot more than I was instructed to do. I just went out and I thought that's what the board wanted, just to make sure, like I said. And the only thing I really changed and requested change from ASME and gave them wording on was the ordinance officer B, again, to ensure complete weekend coverage. And then even though we put hours down, it was times by mutual agreement. If we want to change or want to negotiate what you're saying, that will have to be done in negotiations coming up for the end of the contract, March 31st, in my opinion.
I guess where I was at with it, and I understand that what the instructions were, and I made my view on that at the last meeting known too, that I didn't agree with that. I think if we're gonna get them to say, yeah, one guy can work Wednesday through Sunday, it should be either guy. Doesn't matter which guy it is, to me. I mean, the union is saying one guy can work Wednesday through Sunday, but the other guy can't. It just
Yeah, but
seems
you gotta-
like you're
you gotta
restricting.
understand this, I mean, the contract right now says no ASME employee can be forced to work on Sunday, period. So Peter's not working on Sunday. I mean, he says he goes to church on Sunday and he's there a good part of the day, and it's like Kevin Scott, same kind of situation. And so when it came to be important that we work on Sunday, then the only real discussion with AFSCME was, so if we look for somebody that's willing to cover the weekend, if you will, with 3 other days full-time, will you guys go along with this? And they said, sure. So we weren't trying to change Peter's schedule. We were just trying to deal with putting another person in there to take care of the need that's there.
Yep, I'm not trying to change Peter's schedule either. I'm just saying either one of the guys should be able to work that schedule to me if we had to, without having to pay extra money for him to work that schedule that week. I mean, I just come from a different background of where, you know, you work the shift that your boss needs you to work.
I know,
And I don't see that. I know it's a different contract, but we don't do that with the police officers. They don't have different days that they can and can't work. You know, they work whatever chief tells them they work.
It's a different contract.
I understand.
It's
I
you know,
understand.
there's a built-in 7-day a week.
I get it. I said what I had to say. I don't like it. I don't like a carve out for one guy. Another guy can't work that same shift. You know, I just don't like it, and I just wanted to go on the record as a discussion of, you know, making sure that that was stated.
So, man,
Yes.
yeah, it just, to me, it seems like we're creating another whole mini agreement for one employee. I mean, because we want them to work the weekend.
And this is the wording I gave ASME. This was.
I understand how we got here.
They didn't
I
come
think
back and
I'm-
want to change it. That's what I thought the township.
I'm more of the
wanted.
mind in the March of next year, when it's time to negotiate it, we broaden the scope of what our needs are. And just my opinion. I hate to pigeonhole us into something that we have, I mean, what happens if we hire a person and they say, yeah, I don't really want to work the weekend now? I changed my mind. I mean,
Well, then then they
Well,
get
then you-
fired, I mean.
Yeah, then they get fired.
hired.
You turn- I don't wanna fire anybody.
And Chair, I just want to say, and Chief, you did exactly what was said. I made it clear then I didn't like it, and I'm making it clear now I don't like it. That's all I'm trying to convey for my part of being up here, is I don't like it, and I don't think we should be restricted. If we're talking about doing this temporarily to the contract, and then we want to, open up the contract when we do the negotiations and get rid of something like this, it just seems like we got two guys, we got two different contracts for two different guys.
I will say that in the operations side, I don't see it as being a hindrance to us. Obviously, we had the Tuesday through Saturday ordinance officer position before. We never had, obviously, people can take time off. You can take vacations and stuff. And it always worked out well for us. We didn't go long stretches of time without coverage. So operationally, I can make it work for you. But if you want the wording changed, we can work on that for the next contract.
Anybody else? Okay, we've got a motion on the floor with a second. Let's do a roll call on this. Adi?
No.
Frazier?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Rush? Yes. Laporte?
No.
And Mr. Honey?
Yes.
Motion carried. Item D, consider approval to outfit the new patrol unit with emergency equipment utilizing Herkimer radio for $8,859.33 plus shipping charges.
So moved.
So move.
Support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. E, consider approval of agreements with Enterprise Fleet Management, Master Equity Lease Agreement, Company Owner Vehicle Service Agreement, Full Maintenance Agreement, Maintenance Management, and Fleet Rental Agreement.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion on this?
I'd like to have us do a tracking if that's possible. Our original financial projection was 25,000 a year, I think, savings. I want to make sure that, where we're at with that, so I'd like to make sure that we have a report, and our finance director can, put together a report, it's gonna be tough until we get fully into the lease, but I want to make sure once we get to that point, that we're able to track the savings that were projected so that we know, where we're hitting it, right? I mean, even if the 25 becomes 10, it's still positive, right? But we still want to understand where we land on that, right? Because if it goes the other way, then we have to explain why or how it got to be such a huge swing.
Yep, and something that I would just like to address in terms of the dollar amount, you kind of hit it right there. The analysis that we presented was 100% conceptual. Chief and Ken and myself and Julie got on a meeting last week. The proposed recommendation that the analysis showed with the large savings of whatever number you had mentioned was based off of replacing roughly 18 of the township's vehicles. We settled on 8. And in the last meeting, I mentioned depending on how many vehicles you replace alters the dollar amount that analysis will show. So there's definitely ease of tracking of the savings, but the dollar amount is just going to vary based off of how many vehicles. And something that I want to address because it got brought up earlier, from an invoicing standpoint, every vehicle on our or on our enterprise fleet management invoice is broken down on a per VIN basis. So from an ease of use, we're able to cost code items. So for example, if a vehicle belongs to the police and it needs to get billed to the police, you'll know exactly where that is supposed to be coded to. If it's a DPW vehicle and DPW has their own funds, you can use that cost code to then understand where those funds are supposed to be allocated to. So our invoicing is very easy to read and will be good for the township.
I'll say Don will be the judge.
Yes. You've got a bulldog here, but you check it out.
I got you, Don.
This is my happy face.
I got you.
Chair, I have a question.
Go ahead.
So how far up the ladder are your vehicles? Do you have small dump trucks, things like that available down
absolutely.
the road?
Yep, so we go up to F650 or F750 size vehicles, and we definitely can get dump trucks depending on what the township is looking for.
Thanks.
So, yep.
Back to you.
Anybody else? Okay, we've got a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. F, consider approval to go out for bids for snow removal bids with CDBG fund, grant funds.
Chair, I'd like to see us table this so that Ken can come back and give us some information
I agree.
on this. There were some comments I made to him, and because he's been out, we haven't been able to kind of flush those through.
I'll make a
support
motion to
that.
table.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's tabled. G, consider approval to transfer accounts payable and payroll oversight from the clerk's office to the finance director.
Chair?
I'll make a motion that we table this one too, because we have a couple people here that are not able to answer some questions for this.
Yep, Chair, we've already got a motion. We don't have a support yet.
Yeah. Do we have a support?
What was the motion? Was there a motion?
Yeah, he just said so moved.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
So we've got the motion. Who's gonna second it? Anybody? Okay, motion did not carry.
And
Yeah,
Chair,
you can
and-
invite
and I-
another motion or a motion to table whatever the next.
Yeah, Chair, I was gonna make a motion to table because Mr. Bowman, who had put this on there, and also Ken, that was
Right.
working on this.
Two
You know,
people
We're not
on
here
this one.
to kind of elaborate. There were some questions and some detail that needed to be discussed, and because they're not here, I was gonna ask to have that table.
Okay,
That's my
so
motion.
the motion is to table this item G. Do I have a second?
I'll support that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, tabled. Announcements. Anybody have any announcements or happenings they want to talk about?
Can I add one thing to our presentation?
Sure, go ahead.
Pat didn't follow his script, so. We had a couple with us on, raising the monument, because as you know, we're having the marble Civil War one. And, we have a person who's on our committee with us, years on, and we had a tripod. And so we used the tripod to raise those up, and they're still at the bottom, like we were supposed to reset those. And also, we really wanna thank DPW, because they put the cemetery on their regular grass cutting schedule now, and their grass is growing in places it hasn't grown in years out there. So it's beautiful. So, just wanted to acknowledge those people.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Arnaitis.
I have announcements.
Go ahead, clerk report.
So we have some election announcements. November 4th, the special general election for Van Buren Public Schools, Washtenaw Intermediate School District, Lincoln High School for our township. If you're in either of these precincts, polls open at 7 a.m. that day and close at 8 p.m. sharp. Town hall closure notices, township offices and recycling center closure. Township offices will be closed on November 10th and 11th in observance of Veterans Day. The Township Recycling Center will be closed November 10th and 11th in observance of Veterans Day. The Recycling Center will reopen on November 12th with regular weekday hours. And please note that due to Veterans Day closure, holiday closure, the board meeting has been rescheduled to Wednesday, November 12th, 2025 at 6 p.m. The winter vendor market, the last one of the years, December 13th and 14th in the community center from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and in the gym, 23501 Sumpter Road. You can sign up at the community center coordinator, Mary Ann Watson. And I'd like to thank everybody that participated and helped out in the trunk or treat and the fall jam. It was a really nice turnout over there. The fire pits were a really nice touch. It was a brisk night. People were gathering around them, listening to music. It was a good time. I hope that thing really gets some legs and moves forward next year and gets even bigger.
Yeah, we plan on three concerts next year. That's the tentative thought.
And that's all I have for announcements.
Anybody else? Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make the motion.
Support?
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.